Oh my
All right,
goodness.
here we
The
are.
generic music.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. We need like five or
Yeah.
six episodes so I can mess that up. Oh wait, no, we can cuss within the first 7 seconds now. I forgot.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, they changed the TOS.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. What's up, family? We had a little. I know I didn't share it out to nobody, man. Let me get it shared out. I know. Be patient with me, family. We working some kinks out right now. The one who was available today was Trevor on the ones and twos. You see, he came from the back to the
Yeah,
front, and we trying to
I'm
have a
still
morning recall. Yeah,
little jittery right now. I didn't finish all my pre-workout and I didn't work it all out of my system.
or you didn't work it out.
No, no, man. I only got 100 sets of shoulder presses in and like maybe 120 curls. So
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. I know a couple people. I know y'all. What's up, Nakia Harris? Thank y'all. Y'all know I wasn't gonna leave y'all out here. We're gonna do something. Like I said,
man,
you know. The other
you
fella, I
guys need
finally
your
got his
morning
schedule.
show.
What's up, Elder Golden Child Sharp? The other fella, Buddha Nick. What's up, brother? What it do? Nice seeing you in person too. Shooting the shit, T. What it do? Good morning,
Let's
family. I
see
know y'all ain't
if
think I was just gonna leave y'all alone like that this morning. And Zeke, aka Brick Baby, will be on tomorrow morning. You know, we gonna get some stuff. I had to come in to come back. What's up? What up, Salty Chef? Y'all, we gonna have different people on. M. Corsi, but Zeke, and he's a Bucktown guy himself. Will be coming to
let's see if
morning
I
recall. I
enable
damn near
us in
forgot
there.
the name. I was about to say the bump this morning. Hey, the morning recall. Zeke, well, what's up? Nelly Nell in the building. Antonio T. Michael B. Hey, well, good morning, my beloveds. We gonna be here. We gonna be here. This we gonna do a little different. Like I said, when in doubt, I had to call Trevor, and Trevor was
Actually, I
like,
think I called you this morning. I was like, "Yeah, I'm
"I
gonna go
called you.
work out.
I
Mickey's
called
awake."
you. Yeah, I had. Yeah, you did call me. You called me early this morning, but I had to call you before the like. Hey, we got to do this. Remember we was talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah. But as I say, we are here, family. We're gonna give you the, we're gonna give you the best 60 minutes that you can't get no other place.
and then you got another show on today, right?
Yeah. I'm coming back at 11 o'clock. I gotta bring a fella on. He wanted to talk. Ah man, I wasn't gonna leave y'all hanging or nothing like that. Trevor is ready. He got his coffee.
Hmm.
I'm here. We gonna make it do what it do.
I got my coffee. I got my last Red Bull until my shipment of Red Bull arrives today.
Yeah, he got his last little. Like I said, we doing different things.
Mm.
But like I said, Zeke.
And we're gonna try to leave the Flint stuff to Mickey and Wintus on the
Oh,
night show,
definitely for shizzle. And it will
right?
be here. The nightly nip will be shown today
Yeah,
at six,
because
probably 6:05, 6:10, because me and brother Elliot on at 5 o'clock. So we might do. We're gonna make it.
God, you're doing 4 shows today, dude.
I'm
You're
gonna get it
busy.
together though. I'm gonna get it together. See what I'm finna do is how I'm finna put the flip down on it. What's up, Darnell Dumas and Christine Chandler and Denise from Georgia? Good morning, beloveds.
Georgia,
Yeah, Georgia in
my
the
neighbor.
Georgia in the building. You heard Georgia is in the building.
Oh, but you and I got to speaking a little bit about water this morning on the phone.
Yes.
Now, I've come to find out that Florida has some of the worst water, uh, like quality in the country.
Mm.
Now, as a whole, right? Like, if we look at Michigan versus Florida and we take out the outliers,
Hmm.
so the outlier being Flint and the outlier being, I believe, Gainesville down here, both those have the worst water qualities. Overall, Florida has a worse water quality because we have a high water table. Like, you can't dig down 15 feet without hitting like some sort of nasty water.
Oh, they said they happy to see you uh doing better off that COVID.
This stuff right here
What's
is
that?
what got me over that COVID.
Pre-workout.
Yeah, because it's got a whole bunch of niacin in it. Niacin, like vitamin C, stuff like that, and then high nitrogen. So while I was sitting here working out, sweating that COVID out of me, that stuff was just pushing it into my sweat so I could sweat it out. But
No, I tell
if you're
everybody
severe, I tell you don't do that. But if you got a low case or if it's just starting to come on, go to the gym and sweat that shit out.
for sure. Hey man, the recall Michael Cooley. What up, my family? I see y'all coming in. I love y'all for tapping in. But like I said, we're gonna be having some sports. Zeke will be in the building tomorrow and Thursday. It's a guarantee. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do that. Me and Trevor finna give y'all a couple of national things that's really going on. You know,
Yeah,
ain't messing with nothing
662.
heavy. I can tell you that now.
662. That'd be a Tupelo, right? There and around. Looking at Mr. Michael Cooley,
Ain't that
Mississippi 662.
Ain't that Greenwood, Mississippi? You may be right about that.
Well, yeah, it says Greenwood, but I believe Tupelo is right in around there. I had some cousins that lived with us for a little bit, and then when they went back home, they'd always call us, and it'd be a 662 phone number.
Got you. Because I was going to say, what area code is Jackson, Mississippi?
Don't know, but we have the most powerful learning device in the world, Google.
Nah, Michael, that's Greenwood, Mississippi, the 662.
Jackson, MS.
Is it 601?
Area code. 601 and 769.
See, I said 601. I know from Raphael Bird. Be on that. She is Mama Quill said her father was born in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Yeah. I had friends.
Raphael said, don't play. Tupelo. Yeah, they don't.
Nah, I don't mess with folks from Mississippi.
They bought their business. But how y'all doing, beautiful people? I had to come in, you know, I'm gonna have to keep y'all because I didn't want to leave y'all with like, you know what I'm saying?
With boring content to get through the first hour or two of the workday.
Yeah, you know, we want to give y'all something, but you know what I was watching? They put on I was watching the games last night, man, but I couldn't really watch the games.
Yeah, you're kind of busy.
Nah, it was like, because I don't like how they had two on at the same time when you got to like go from here, go there. You know
that's why I do everything off my computer. I'm actually going to get a third monitor because 2 isn't cutting it right now. So that way, like, if I do find an interest in sports, because I've lost that over time, right?
You lost your interest.
Yeah, well, you and I talked about that once again this morning because we see less skill-based, you know, this player is doing great, and it's more like cult of personality. Whoever has the biggest personality on and off the field is whoever gets the most coverage.
Yeah,
like, that irritates the hell out of me.
But what it is who can fill the stands up. Because I was watching some stuff.
It's all about that money.
What it do, Bonnie Van? Everybody. Robert Sheeran, because I was watching. Listen, I know you. I was a big wrestling fan coming up, right?
WWE or WCW
I was
or
WCW because WCW to me was like more realer than WWF.
NWO, yeah, it's WWF.
I
go back to Wolfpack.
See, I'm a little older, so I like Dusty Rhodes. I like the Road Warriors. You know what I'm saying? When Ric Flair was back then, you know, I liked how the NWA did it. Because they had they steel cage matches. They had the real fences and not like WWF had that makeshift.
Yeah.
Climb out. You know what I'm saying? I like to see where they down there pummel each other.
That's, you know, I've even started falling away from my combat sports lately because, like, UFC, you've got more personality, as you say, who can fill the stands, right?
Yeah,
but you've got some very mid fighters getting all these top billing. I'm like, man, this guy doesn't know the difference between a left jab and a right cross. Why is he getting this attention? Oh, because he's a smart ass.
Fact, but see, that's what sells the seats, though. That's who can do. Because I was watching. That's why I brought up wrestling, because I've been watching the Dark Side of the Ring. And I'll be watching Jim Cornette with, you know, him and the other guy. They be talking about the old time as far as how they was making money, like, you know what I'm saying? How people was making money,
man.
And it was like and you see how people compare it to boxing now. You like certain people won't let you get in when you can make money off of them,
Hmm.
and it was
They'll
like
cut you
that's how
out.
they felt with Hogan. They was like, you know what I'm saying, but it was like I put you over. You know what I'm saying? Certain people didn't want to get put over, like how Hulk Hogan had the belt, but Ric Flair had the belt a long time too. He
Hmm.
would lose to get it back, but each company had to have a champion. And I was looking at it like fire as like how they said Vince McMahon went for more of the like Ultimate Warrior. He really couldn't. He had quick matches because he would be gassed out. He was just a bodybuilder. But
Hmm.
Vince was such a hell of a marketer, he could sell a product.
God, who's the bodybuilder in the UFC circuit right now? He's some Brit, some British dude, and he's actually very low key. He doesn't have that, over the top personality that I don't like, but he's been actually doing well in his matches. Like he stopped bodybuilding just to work on his stamina because he learned after his first match, fucking 2-3 minutes of throwing your fist as long as you can, it's gonna wear you out.
Hey, but Raphael for sure, Raphael. But that's what got Dusty when he got let go at TNT. Because remember Ted Turner and buying it from the Crockett's, the WCW. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell people go check out Dark Side of the Ring, and you'll really see how they was doing certain stuff. And they knew how you doing, Michael B, Mr. Classic. Yeah, facts. I ain't going all of them. I remember my uncle used to tell me about Dick the Bruiser, Bobo Brazil. You know what I'm saying? Even when you look at Bruiser Brody, how he got took out, man. It be some. And family, hit that like button as y'all coming in. I know it's a little different, but believe me, be patient. We're gonna have everything gonna come together. Rome wasn't built overnight, beloved.
Oh yeah,
It
here's one.
wasn't built, huh?
CM Punk.
CM Punk, yeah. See, I
Yeah,
don't
he
watch
got
it no
his
more.
ass handed to him in UFC 225. Like I think it was a round one, round two KO.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I can't watch it no more. But when I was a kid, man, I used to love it. The Iron
oh
Sheik.
yeah.
You talking about Nikita Koloff with the Russian sickle. Now I'm with y'all. Man, Manny Fernandez, the Raging Bull. I'm just
All
saying,
your
but how
friends
they was
coming over
making
when you're in
money.
elementary and middle school, and you're like trying out the wrestling moves on
I remember
them.
I used to be doing that, man. We had belts and stuff. Me, man, I used to go to the wrestling, go see over at the IMA. When they
Mm.
would be up here, the wrestlers, man, but I ain't gonna get off into it. I remember my homeboys was like, man, that's fake, man. I used to be, as we was getting older, I still believed it like up into the 7th grade. And I was like, man, that ain't nothing. That is. Then when I fell out with it, I fell out with it. I didn't watch it no more. Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat, Fires, Macho Man. I remember when he messed around, posted, got his larynx messed up. But see, a
Who
storyline.
who was the dude who fell to his death when he's supposed to be
Owen
like
Hart.
repelling it? Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember watching that live, and I was
yeah.
like,
I, I,
"Oh,
I was done with it then. I
oh
was done.
shit."
I had
God,
been
I
done
must
with
have
it by
been like
then.
what 12, 13, but I'm a couple years older or younger than you.
You- Facts, Mr. Classic. No, when you go see how that stuff happened down in Puerto Rico, man, go read the story on Bruiser Brody, how he got took out. The one
Man,
who kind of tell it is Teddy Atlas. Hogan. They said Hogan wasn't there. They be saying Hogan had told so many lies is downright
but
diabolical.
once again, about filling them stands, he came up with super fantastical stories about shit he never did, but
No,
people
this is
ate it
after
up.
he was retired. When they go watch the wrestlers when they shoot on each other. I even like the Honky Tonk Man, the one that had the good tire, like how they said they killed his career. Man, when he was like how he had a run, it like it just it don't it don't cease to amaze me when you see his conflict down there on every level. Man, it was people they hated uh
That's the
uh
motherfucker's name.
they hated Shawn Michaels. They had to click when it was
Hmm.
Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and them, like how Hulk
And
Hogan
China.
came. Yeah, when Hulk Hogan had his crew over there in when he NWA when they did the NWO and all
Hmm.
that, when they had the Wrestle War, dude, some of them was getting checked like contracts for 750,000 a year.
Yeah, that
You know what
was
I'm
a
saying? But
lot back then.
yeah, hell
You
yeah,
take a look at The Rock now, and I think Saudi Arabia has actually put in a bid to hold
yes, yeah, super
WrestleMania this year.
facts.
and it's going to be The Rock versus someone else. Rock hasn't really wrestled in what, guys? 10 years. He's been more of an actor,
Yeah.
and this is one of the biggest headlines coming in.
Yeah, because he got the transition. He got to lead the game. Then got the man, but they be getting real injuries though, dude.
Oh yeah,
Them
like
dudes,
wrestling might be fake, but
yeah.
while you're moving around and you have these choreographed moves that you're supposed to be doing, if someone slips up a little bit and there goes your shoulder, and you're still being slammed down, and regardless whether that mat is spring loaded or not, you're still taking the entire force of your body traveling at 5-10 miles an hour and impacting something. There is massive muscle and joint damage.
Facts. And then you get people who be green. What's up, Sarah P? When you get people who be green. That's how Bret Hart got hurt. Yeah, Bret Hart left because of the Montreal screw job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, that's still going on, man. Like I tell you, man, I'll be watching different, like I was looking at that when you hear him talk, and like they knew steroids was in the what's the name
Oh yeah,
in
dude,
the
you don't
game.
get bodies like
It's like,
that
but see, that's
just
the politics that they be sitting up there playing. They knew, listen, Hogan, but it's like who can fill the seats. Hogan had he picked and choose who he wanted to put over in the
Kevin
runs and
Nash,
stuff. You know, yeah,
Sting.
them was no Sting never came over to WWF. Remember Sting
No, but
stayed
in the
there.
WCW, he was filling them seats. He was a big name,
but
running up with that baseball bat and that trench coat.
yeah. But remember when Sting was missing, he had blew his knee out. I think he got hurt in one of the matches. But man, you could look at them, all of them was on steroids. Just you see how the Rock then came down some now.
Oh yeah,
You see how Batista then can't drop that weight.
They cut real
Even
quick.
if you go look at Sting, you see how Sting. Go look at the earlier Sting.
So
compared to, I ain't talking about the Sting. I'm talking about pre-injury Sting.
Yeah,
he had hurt his knee when doing the RoboCop. Remember when WCW brought the RoboCop, open the cage up, all that. Go look at that and go look. But him and Ultimate Warrior was best. They was called the Blade Runners, and I forgot what program was they in, AWA. I think they was down there. But man, anyway, but you know what, Raphael Berg, but he was finna leave. They should have had it a draw. You know what I'm saying? But it was no way in hell that Vince McMahon, from a business standpoint, that was gonna let him leave. What Brett was gonna leave with the with the WWF Championship, going to WCW. You know how bad that was. That was gonna look. Remember when Ric Flair left the WWF? WWE. WCW, and he came with the what was it? The 14-pound belt, the NWA Heavyweight Championship. When he showed up to it was one of the Raw when they was having the wars, the Monday night the wars and stuff. Yeah, they was in Memphis. Okay, yeah, they was in Memphis wrestling. But that's what I'm saying.
I remember hearing Vince McMahon used to lose his shit, right? Because so I think it was Raw and Thursday SmackDown. Yeah. They used to be pre-recorded.
Right.
So the owner of the WCW would come up at the beginning of every show for like 3 months and announce the matches and who won from the WWF just to tank their ratings. Vince McMahon lost his shit and he started finally doing live matches, like live broadcast.
Yeah, but if you go look how they did. It did make sense because he let Ric Flair come to with the WCW belt. Yeah, it did. But because them companies was having beefs at that time, Raphael, he let Rick come to him, but he didn't want his belt going to them. You know what I'm saying? And some of them same people end up coming to work for Jim McMahon. McMahon. But if you go look how he did it, man, like McMahon came, man, he took on the system. He took on the system because remember he had the East Coast when his father was running it.
He was a hell of a promoter.
Yeah, but he knew how to. It was a gimmick. He knew how to push it over to his fans. Like how it is now, I can't even watch it. Like I see they got AEW and all. I can't because it's like back. Jim Crockett Promotions. Jim Crockett Promotions was like when they was running it, just even like the convo that they had, it was compared to like, to me, it was like this. WWF before it became WWE, when it was WWF, it was more like conservative. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do this and that. You got to do it the right way. The
Mm-hmm.
Jim, what was NWA, WCW was more like, if you do basketball like how the ABA was compared to the NBA. The ABA was like more flamboyant, where the NBA was more like, you know what I'm saying? We gonna play about it. We gonna play it safe, and that's just, to me, it was like the NWA. They pushed the boundaries.
Man.
Like
So
it's like they pushed the boundaries, like with with like WWF was like Holly. It was like to me, it was more like fictional.
yeah, like so what I remember watching wrestling growing up, it was kind of like a soap opera. Like
Yeah,
you could always tell something was going to happen, but they kept it guessable, right? Or not
facts,
guessable, but somewhat of a mystery. Whereas you
facts.
watch it now, you can call who's coming into that ring to disturb what match, who's going to talk what trash, and it honestly that's one of my biggest complaints about TV now. So I don't watch any cable television because it feels like they've dumbed everything down. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Because most people have one of these in their hands while they're watching TV or whatever, and they have to keep a plot enough to keep your attention. But
facts.
when your head's buried in your phone, they have to dumb it down enough so you can look up and, okay, here's where I'm at. Look back down, look up, shit like that. I just can't watch that kind of TV no more. I have to go to things like Amazon has a couple good shows. The Expanse was great. HBO has a couple good shows. And honestly, me being me, I've been watching. I live on Crunchyroll, so I watch a lot of anime because the Japanese don't believe in that. They're like, you pay the fuck attention or you're fucking lost. I'm like, you know what? I can agree with that.
Now I like the story. I'm looking at Sarah. I'm gonna go watch it. I'm gonna go watch it. But I ain't gonna lie. I'll be watching a lot of Jim Cornette's. His YouTube channel. I'll be watching him when they do the history on wrestling. Well, you know what I'm saying? Because he was at all the promotions. He
Them
was there.
wrestlers,
So I like to. I ain't gonna lie. You go watch Jim Cornette, him on there, and he break it down because he go over even. Because listen, man, I didn't know a lot of my a lot of these people, man, that I seen. I'm not gonna say, and I'm not gonna give them up, but they know who I'm talking about. I had a homeboy, man. Seriously, this how serious this wrestler was. When they came here, did you know some of the wrestlers? I'm not gonna say their name, man. They was out in the Regencies buying drugs when they came here to perform.
not
This,
surprised.
this is what I'm saying. This is what my homeboy used to be like, dude. It's not real. I was watching the Ultimate Warriors shoot when he was talking about Davy Boy Smith and Jim the Anvil Neidhart talking about how they were smoking crack. Like, these people was not just shooting up; they was on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
But where it came from, man, even a lot of them that was on pills. If you go look at them, man, a lot of them, dude, they be having something. And then when you hear the stories like the
That
money,
shit ain't changed though.
yeah,
I
Mid
I
South
have a
Wrestling,
friend, or he's a former friend because we just don't
yeah,
talk anymore. So he's a radio host on 99 FM, Magic FM in Colorado Springs. Uh,
right,
he goes by the radio name Danger Dean. He's also an amateur wrestler that goes
right,
by the same name. And so he, wrestles on an amateur circuit there. And then when the big names come through, so WWE, sometimes he gets a card there. And he was telling me, like, yeah, those guys are nothing like what they are in front of that microphone, in front of a crowd. Yeah, a lot of them are in the back just drinking or getting stoned or shooting up or doing some heavy drugs. And they come out and they act all crazy. I'm like, so you're telling me that like absolutely nothing of that is real, none of the beefs, none of that. He's like, nah, half the time those guys are either hugging it out, having a beer in the back, or then he told me a couple of them sleeping together. I'm like, okay, that's that. Thank you for breaking my immersion. I will never watch wrestling again. Mind you, this was like 2012. I was already not into wrestling anymore, but my ex-wife was. I was like, we're good.
no, I haven't seen it. No, hey, listen, the way you supposed to be, yeah. But see what Jim Mc, I mean, what, yeah, I mean, why I keep saying Vince McMahon was. he had a thing where he wouldn't let the heels in the baby, what they call them, K phase or baby phase, they never let them ride on the same bus together because you
Mm,
had to keep that illusion that
yep.
these was against each other. And it's because Raphael Burst, y'all remember when the Iron Sheik and Jim Duggan got caught on the New Jersey highway by the police with drugs, and they were supposed to be enemies. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I love when you go see when they be like Sheiky baby when they be sitting up saying how they was talking, dude. When
Right.
you got to make that money, they was like man, They said man, they was like they was print money back in the day. See, that's what I
Mhm.
be looking at when they be talking about the money they be making, man. Do you understand when you get a run? That's why when you be seeing certain ones be beefing,
Yo,
and,
Jaja
and they
Boy knows exactly what's up. A lot of them pro wrestlers were on uppers or either
kayfabe, yeah, Mr. Classic, he be watching it too. They call him kayfabe.
either
Fact,
hitting some rails or sitting there smoking some crack or
yeah, they was,
anything that was just a stimulant they were
yeah,
heavily addicted to because they had to come out with that bombastic personality.
because that's what it was built above their bodies, and as you can see, like, and listen, I like the Junkyard Dog. You know what I'm saying? And it was like you can see as he got big. Some of these, a lot of them was ex-football players.
Hmm.
Like
Football
when you
players are
go
just
see
straight like bodybuilders.
facts, yeah, and like when
Hell,
you go see, but but like
how
I
many of
say,
them were recruited straight from Daytona Beach from the weightlifting area right there on
yeah,
the beach? Like, hey, you want to go look good, be on a camera? You want to get paid,
yeah.
a little bit of scratch for your body? Yeah, sure, why not? All right, cool. Here's your contract. Here's your complimentary cocaine. Go get in front of that
Hey,
camera and
listen,
act like a weirdo.
when you go back and watch it, man, it be messing me up. I be
Yo,
sitting back
Taylor
doing,
just brought up the same thing that you were telling us a minute ago. You've been watching Dark Side of the
yeah.
Ring.
That's what I be doing. I'm telling what's up, no gang. Yeah, I sit up and watch. Man, I was a wrestling fan. I was a fanatic as a kid.
Hmm.
That's why when I watch it, I remember Tito Santana. You know what I'm saying? Rick Martel and all of them. But I didn't know this a lot of times because like they say, why everybody want to have that belt. Yep, Mark Henry. You know what I'm saying? When they wanted them belts,
Yo,
like that, when you got that
that
belt, you got
belt.
that money. Having
Yeah,
a heavyweight
because your
belt.
merchandise went through the roof.
No,
Not
but you
just
didn't
could
really
you
own
make, yeah, no, but you got
it.
like a small royalty, like 10%.
Right,
And they
right.
were fighting for that 10% while the WWE, WWF, WCW was catching that 90. That 10%, 10% of $100 is $10. 10% of 100 million,
Yeah,
that's a little
yeah.
bit.
Yeah, and it was saying like, but then how some that like a lot of their careers when you go listen, and you know what I did like I say I've been watching a lot of the Dark Side of the Ring. When you listen how the stuff they was doing, man, I remember Ric Flair said he got up out of down there. They went to the island Puerto Rico. He was like, listen, man, look, it was dangerous back then. They said,
Exactly.
Harley Race when you came in different people territory. Like even
Hmm.
when Vince McMahon got Holly Race, because Jerry the King Lawler, when he had King, well, that's why he did the King of the Ring.
Hmm.
Jerry, you know what I'm saying, down there, man. Listen, and it was funny. All them people Vince was putting out of business, they end up having to come work for him.
Yeah. Oh,
That's what
actually,
it.
speaking of former wrestlers, there's actually one who's doing good right now, doing
Oh,
small content on YouTube. Goldberg.
are you talking about? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, go. I don't.
Goldberg
You know
has
what?
his own gun channel on
I don't
YouTube.
like Goldberg.
Hmm,
He
well,
hurt
I'm
the
just saying.
hitman. If he ain't hurt the hitman, we'd have been cool. He hurt the
The
hitman.
dude
Damn
owns a Vietnam era M60, and I'm just sitting there,
man,
my mind blown. Like he made a lot of money,
he
and
don't know
he's
how to
buying.
wrestle, man. He hurt a lot of wrestle like
Oh
Ahmad
yeah,
Johnson did. Ahmad, he hurt the hitman. That's when the hitman, he gave the hitman a concussion, man. You don't swing off the rope like that, man, and,
no,
and you hurt the hitman. Like Ahmad Johnson, man, you ain't know. One dude got his neck, got paralyzed, got his neck broken there from the
hmm,
power driver, man.
yeah, like you actually see
Hey,
a lot of
I will
moves
be
back
watching
then
it.
don't happen now. Pile drivers don't happen no more. Power bombs don't happen no more. Like now you've got,
See?
basically a rear naked choke. So if that messes up, you're not gonna snap someone's neck by accident. You're just gonna make them go to sleep, and then you can call the match real quick and easy. But power bomb, dude's neck goes
Yeah.
wink. There's an
Yeah.
issue.
Now, Irma, you right. and Devon Eriks. Hey, that was my hey, Devon Eriks was my. I like to carry Von Erich. I watched them, coming up, but it was they just had a bad tragedy, man.
You
What
know
all
who
they
my
went through
favorite
with the
wrestler was?
huh?
Uh, Looking at all these wrestling names, and it's reminding me of my favorite Rey Mysterio.
Are you like, man? I didn't like. You know what? Who I
I
was
just
with?
like the way he was moving around. He was a small dude. Yeah, he is jacked, but he is small, and he's just like twisting around Mother Bear. I'm like, what? I can
Man,
do that.
you gonna laugh when I tell you who was one of my favorite.
Who?
The Rock and Roll Express, besides the World Warrior. Ricky Morton and Bobby Gibson, man. This was so cold blooded. Man, I used to love them battling against the Midnight Express. Midnight Express. Like, see, man, back then, I liked it the way Jim Cornette can talk it. I love the way that Bobby Heenan was just a weasel. I
They
liked the
were.
Gorilla Monsoon. I mean, just you had to bring it when you did it. Man, listen, back then the
Which one,
managers had
Jaja?
to bring it. A lot of them didn't know how to, like today's wrestlers, man, they don't know how to talk it. That's why Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pup can still talk shit. That's why you got
Mhm.
The Rock when he come on there. You had to have some slick talk, man.
Dude, every
You
once
gotta
in a while, when you
understand
see Stone
Dusty.
Cold come on,
Yes,
he will berate these new wrestlers like, you
man,
guys don't know what the hell you're doing. This isn't a show. This is pageantry. Like back then, it was
man.
a show, and he lets them know.
Oh no, you right, Mr. Classic. Y'all, what Brian I said, y'all taking me back with these wrestlers. Man, that was the stuff back then. The way Dusty, listen, didn't nobody like the Four Horsemen and Dusty Rhodes them did it to each other. I used to think when they broke Dusty Rhodes leg, him and Magnum TA and Baby Doll. I mean, when he told Arnold, "You gonna make me do something real bad to y'all." When Dusty used to come out, then when he broke Ole Anderson leg. I mean, it was believable
Hmm.
compared to how WWF was doing it. You
Well,
know what I'm
like
saying?
when Mankind got chucked off that cage
you know,
and he landed on thumbtacks, that was real. Like,
yeah.
I think his name is Chris something, and that was WWF. That dude was such a performer that he got his face gashed the hell open and he's just like going with it. He's like, the show can't stop. I can't call for these
Dude,
paramedics. People will know that we aren't as tough. So he's just like going with it. I'm like, holy
dude, did you
hell.
see what NWA was bringing? The Great American Bash, the Bunkhouse Stampede. WWF had the Royal Rumble. Nah, NWA had the Bunkhouse Stampede, the Bull of the Woods. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
The bull of the woods. That's what Dusty them. That's what I'm saying. How they would have regular clothes on, how they blue jeans, how they boots on, and they came in there. They might have a barbed wire ring and stuff. You know what
Yup.
I'm saying? They wouldn't. WWF wasn't doing none of that.
Actually,
Hulk Hogan, you
let's
climb out
talk a
the
little bit
ring.
about something in
Come
Michigan
on.
that was almost a Michigan exclusive, and it
What?
was from ICP, the Backyard Wrestling. They were getting crazy in that, and I'm glad they put a stop to it. But taking fluorescent lights to people's heads, actually taking real barbed wire wrapped bats and slapping each other around, like
Dude.
ICP should not have been endorsing that. A lot of kids died trying to imitate what they saw on WWE, WWF, and
Yeah,
then filming
dude.
it and it getting promoted from Insane Clown Posse as
Yeah,
Backyard Wrestling. And some
dude.
of these kids were, their names are getting out there. They're really happy. Others were lying jacked up for the rest of their lives, if not dead.
Nah, you see what Taylor said. Hardcore still around.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Hardcore still around right now. Facts, Mr. Classic, ICP, Insane Clown Posse. But
Man, when
dude,
I
I
was a
wouldn't
kid,
get
I
it.
used to listen to ICP. Hell, I still have a Hatchet Man tattoo on my chest, which is another reason why I can never go to prison because that means something completely different now. I need to get it covered up. But like,
Listen, I listened to their first.
shit,
Eshawn brought them out. That's when I listened to their first album when Eshawn, you know,
God,
down from
there's
Detroit
a
brought them out. Like, but I'm just saying. But I remember Kamala. Oh man, now they did. Hogan did. I used to think Hogan went, but see, they set champions up for. But you got to have a storyline to sell, and you know what I'm saying. And that's what a lot of time, a lot of them wrestlers they couldn't fill the seats up. Like, look at Kevin Nash. He was the heavyweight champion, but he couldn't fill the seats up like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get people when you got somebody running your company, you got to be able to have them people that can fill the seats up. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh
the
shit.
Ultimate Warrior, he did what he did, but but he did have a following, and I'll give him this. He was a lot smarter. Even Vince McMahon said he thought he was bigger than what he was. Me to sum it up, he thought he was bigger than the program.
Hmm.
And I think he got jammed up when he went over to WCW where Eric Bischoff killed his career. Because Vince McMahon tried to bury Dusty Rhodes' career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When he tried to put him in the polka dots, when he did
Yeah.
that, Dusty
When
pulled
they
that
do
off.
all those rebrands, so
Look
like
how he
you
did my one man. He made him the Rooster.
Mhm.
And Terry Taylor. He came from,
Actually,
I forgot where Terry Taylor came, but he was a heavyweight champion. You know what I'm saying? From different promotions, man. When he was doing this, it'd be like,
you know who did a good satire parody of it, but it
who?
explained it well? Futurama.
Mm,
When Bender joined a pro wrestling circuit, and they're like, "Oh well, now we got to change you up. You got to be hated now." So they took Bender and they made him the gender bender, so people would hate him, right? Like that's the same thing Vince did with a lot of folks. Hey, let me invert your personality and the thing that people loved about you, and see if we can't get you to drop some of your sales here because I'm not making it. I'm making less off of you now that you're more popular. Vince was doing that left and right.
no, I'm looking with Taylor saying, yeah, and now you got his son as the champion over in
Mm-hmm.
WWE. That which is that, but you know what? Vince only had a vision for his champions being muscular.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he thought. That's what he
Well,
wanted his champions to be
you could
a
tell the
la Hulk
steroid.
Hogan.
You could tell the steroid use in a lot
Yeah,
of the WWE, WWF because it's only their
Captain
arms and
America.
chests that are built. You see no abs on these guys. These are manufactured muscles through a needle.
Yeah, but see that shit. Look how big when I forgot because I think it was Terry Taylor the one told, if I'm not mistaken. I was watching something because he said why the Ultimate Warrior was mad at him because he shoot on him too because they call it shoot on SHOOT. If you go watch, just type that in when wrestlers shoot on wrestlers. All of them can't stand Hogan, but it was
Yeah,
about the
no.
money though. Hogan did freeze a lot of people out. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? He
yeah.
didn't want he didn't want to push Bret. He didn't want to lose the belt to Bret Hart. But see, a lot of it be jealousy, man. They don't be saying that. Like, you know what I'm saying when they
Well,
said,
when you're put into that environment of the more popular you are, the more money you get, and they decide to bill it as popularity is a finite resource.
yeah,
So they give people like when you go into a wrestling match, wherever at or a large event, they give you a little piece of paper as a poll. Now you get it on
right.
your phone when you go in. Who's your favorite? There is no first, second, third, or like that. It's just whoever gets the most votes, and then that person gets promoted. So like Hogan sitting there thinking like that, like, okay, I got to protect my popularity. So I have to knock these guys down, make them less popular. That way I can still get my money. If they had done it in a way where like, hey, we can have several super popular people
Yeah.
and get them paid, maybe do it in terms of a tier instead of a ladder, then you would see a lot of, big names now that you don't, because he was just stomping people down. Get the hell off my ladder.
But see, they don't have, yeah, but see, they don't have, I think everybody trying to take the Vince McMahon approach how he did it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Me personally, if I was AEW, because Tony Khan, he's a billionaire. They got that money. I will go back to the NWA, WCW. I will go sometime old. The old style is the best style. I
Oh
will
yeah.
go back if you really trying to conquer your fans back. What I will go do, you gotta have people like when they be saying the wrestler. I think is you got to be able to wrestle, to
Hmm.
sell it, which
Hmm.
is be able to talk.
Yeah, you
You
had
know
to
what
have
I'm
that
saying?
charismatic personality.
Yeah,
Like
and your like if you got all of that. I forgot. I remember Bret Hart because I be
throw.
watching. It's like five. I think it's the five that you're supposed to have. I think he had 4 out of the five. That's a good wrestler.
I mean, if you throw someone like Kurt Angle a microphone,
Oh, he
he
on.
can't
Oh,
really sell it.
okay, my bad. Thank you for telling me that. Yeah, but if I was Tony Khan, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you got to be able to go back. You got to be able to have storylines.
Hmm. Well, one thing that I loved
Oh,
about
facts,
WCW,
Mr. Classic. Facts.
WCW allowed the wrestlers to pick and choose their own storylines and to
Yeah,
develop off of it, whereas WWE has like script writers in the back that'll,
Yeah,
tell you exactly how to say it, when to say it. Da, da. Like, no, WCW, it's like,
yeah.
all right, I've picked you. I have a grudge with you. We are now enemies, and I am going to mess with you in X, Y, and Z. But I'm not going to tell you when. That way, it shows us a surprise on your face, and
But
that's
see,
how they did it.
yeah, but
That
see
was
what it,
compelling.
yeah, but they still had the matches how they said how they was gonna do it. This gonna be my spot here. They
Hmm.
the basics are still the same. When we get in that ring, this the move we gonna do. Cause you
Yep.
can see them sometime when they be in the corner, they might say something in their ear. I'm finna do this. For
Hmm.
me watching it now, I'll be like, damn. So this when they was talking, he was telling them how they gonna do this. Cause like I said, Hogan was
Yeah.
like Ultimate Warrior was like, he thought it was gonna be over in 5 minutes. So Hogan stopped him and said, "Hell no, we finna go. The people pay. Come on, nah, we finna get them." See, and don't get me wrong, Ric Flair moves was the same. He did that same thing, flip over the turnbuckle, get a run up there, jump off, you catch him, and do this
Hmm.
and that. But he could sell a story though, and he
Yeah.
had, you know what I'm saying, a lot of, and he could work. He was a worker. He could go 60 minutes if you wanted to give him a 60-minute match. That's what you
You
had.
remember Spike TV?
Come on with it.
God, this was back early mid 2000s. They actually had a show of, it was kind of like a reality show as to building these young people to get a debut in the WWE. It was after WCW kind of fell off during the franchise wars. And like what they were doing is teaching these kids A, how to choreograph, and B, how to take a hit and make it look real without actually, throwing that punch just, as you normally would. Because a lot of these guys are going in there and just beating the hell out of each other. And I remember, I think it was Triple H came in one
Right.
time, and he's like, no, 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 here's how you sell it, right? When you hit them, make sure you tap them with this right here,
Yeah.
and then you lean across, and when you fall back, you throw yourself so you bounce. And he like actually bounced off the ring and got back onto his feet in one movement. I'm like, yeah,
No,
so I
yeah.
know it's fake now, but you don't see a lot of these guys doing that. It's just like they fall down the flat.
Yeah. No,
What?
and just like when
Tough
they
enough.
had,
Thank you, Yogi.
and what was my boys who are also like the Michael P.S. Hayes? What was their name? Damn. They used to wear the Confederate flag. What was their name? It was
Mm,
damn. I was just watching them. They would say they was from Bad Street, USA. I know y'all remember them. Michael P had the long, him and Terry Gordy, him and Terry Bam Bam Gordy, and what was the other short fella name that was with him? Freebirds, hot damn it.
there you
Freebirds,
go.
oh my guys, Freebird. They sent they ass right. They sent they asses right. It's called Tough Enough.
Yep.
They said. They sent they asses Andre the Giant because he was in the, even though he was a wrestler, he was in the, he was one of the, he was the
Dude
executive. I mean, he was
was
in the background.
massive.
Said, yeah, but he was in the background. He was doing some, the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sent the Freebirds home. They thought he fired them because they came in drunk. You know what I'm saying? Up to New York. You know what I'm saying? They
They
did, but
couldn't do their job. They were a liability. I'd fire the fuck out of them too.
yeah. I mean, I just liked it how they would be jumping in, whoop the World Warriors, get the belts, and you know what I'm saying. But what I learned all the time, having the belt wasn't where the money was at. You
Mm-mm.
chasing the belt.
Yeah. You,
That's why. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
that entire journey of the come
Yeah.
up and how
And
you're going
people,
up and people are like,
yeah,
yeah, going buying your merchandise. And
yeah.
oh, he's got the title, or not the title slot, but he's got like top slot on the card tonight. I'm gonna buy that ticket. you know
Yeah,
the Once you got the belt, you kind of like hang back.
but the company expected you to do a lot of shows. That's why they
Hmm.
said when Ricky
Or
Steamboat got,
conventions.
yeah, why he left, because he was having a wife. I mean, having a baby, and he wanted to be there, and but he wouldn't like Vince McMahon. Then like how he was, he expected him to be on the road, and you posted. You know what I'm saying? It was the business. That's why, you know what I'm saying. He wouldn't.
Yeah, like,
You know what I'm saying. He like kind of buried his career.
yeah,
Oh, for
so
sure, Mr. Classic, Divine versus. It always had to have a good versus evil,
hmm
all of them. But you had some who know how to get up there and talk that junk where you could believe it. Like Dusty could come off. So, Dusty, Ric Flair, them, like I said, and Dusty had the belt 3 times. But see, to me, NWA didn't care if you was fat. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? They just wanted to, they were selling that look. Dusty can be the champion too. And that's what it was a dream. You know what I'm saying? Because you always coming. I might not be your regular wrestler. You know what I'm saying? That was the hype up. Everybody was, all the muscle bound, this and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it was like, you had some people, but
That's
to the
why I was a
east,
fan of Mankind, right? Like he was a
yeah,
chunky dude and
yeah,
his
fat.
arms were flabby, but he still had a shot. You're like, yeah, he could make it. And he
Dusty,
definitely had some of the best hardcore matches.
but Dusty could work.
Hmm.
That's the thing. He had to talk. He can comment. He could get in there and wrestle. If you ask him to do the 60 minutes, he could do it.
Oh,
You
we
know
know
what I'm
Sherry.
saying?
We
Yeah.
know that
How you doing, Sherry
it's
Allen? Connie, how you doing?
phony and choreographed, but there's still a lot of physical
See,
movement in there. You're still throwing a 160-pound man into some ropes and trying to catch him as he
and
bounces
can
off.
lift him up. He was the son
Mhm.
of a plumber. That's all we needed.
Right? Like
That's
it
what I'm
isn't
saying. Yeah,
just
Dusty's son, Dustin. Yeah, Dustin was as everybody might know him at. What he go up under now? What's my man, Dustin? What's the gold
Mick
dust?
Foley. There we go. Thank you, Raphael. Mick Foley, Mankind. Like he was one of my favorites just
Oh
because,
yeah, he was one of them. He was a hardcore
like I
extreme.
said, he had
Yeah.
that gash from falling on a bunch of thumbtacks off the top of the cage that wasn't scripted, and he still got up and played it instead of, oh no, I've got a deep cut. I've got it. No, the man still has a massive scar on his face to this day, and he
Nah, man,
still
they
ran with it.
right. But it was like, nah, I get it, Sherry. But I mean, that was some of the stuff I liked it coming up. Like, but to them, they could sell it. To me now, I can't watch it now. I like, I can't. I'm kind of like Jim, as they call him, corny. I'm kind of like that. Like, I
The
look at it
nostalgia.
and yeah, I can't. I'll be like, because I try to listen to the storylines or like,
Mhm.
okay, what they beef is about. How did it start? Like I didn't get off into that Roman Reigns, the tribal, this and that, the bloodline. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, who is their opposition? Who they beefing with? How them people talking over there? You know what I'm saying? You can
Right.
go on right now on Facebook and you can see their storyline. Who finna be the next champion? Like, no,
Yeah,
we used
you
to
can
have to
see
wait
the
to the
claim to fame and the
yeah.
rise, like, and social media has made it so much worse because you can you get everything right there, so you can just kind of plot the rest of the story. You're like, man, this kind of
That-
sucks.
But that's what I'm saying. It fizzled out so quick when you had, like I say, man, you used to see stuff set up like back in the day. Like I said, Great American Bash, how you had the Midnight Express versus the Rock and Roll. Like when you had the United States, that's why I liked it. NWA. You had the United States Tag Team Champion belts. You had the World
Mhm.
Tag Team Champion belt, just like you had the
The
heavyweight.
Intercontinentals.
No, that was over in WWF. In
All
WCW,
right.
you had NWA, you had the United States heavyweight belt, and that was supposed to be the number two, the number one contender to the world heavyweight. You had the TV title. You had the 6-man tag belts with Dusty and the Road Warriors held. You know what I'm saying? You had at one time Rock and Roll Express, was it Rock or Midnight had the US and the world heavyweights. It was just like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like over there, they had enough people to have beefs.
Wait,
You know what I'm
Tony
saying?
Storm. Is that the one that keeps on wearing Warhammer inspired leotards? Actually, I gotta look that up now. But there's one that keeps on, all the books behind me that
Yeah,
wears in the tunics, onesies, whatever, leotards, inspired by Warhammer 40K.
for
So now I
sure.
gotta take a look.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but I'm saying, but when you look at like Marty Jannetty, like man, a lot of these people you wouldn't be thinking, man, the wrestling world, it was like wow. But you see the ones who did the right business, like Ole Anderson, he was a businessman. You know what I'm saying? Some of them, when you become a booker and stuff, like you had some
There we
like
go.
Dusty was a booker. You know what I'm saying?
Um, Shayna Baszler is her name. Um, she's worn things like Night Lords, Salamanders, which most of you don't know and or care about.
Yeah.
But the real life background of her is interesting. So she was a former kickboxer in MMA, and
Right.
she decided that was too hard on her body, so she went to professional wrestling. I'm like,
And
that is rough going from that extreme to something just as bad, but at least you're not catching, a fist in the eye.
for sure. But I'm just saying, but it was, Vince McMahon the one sold the story when they brought his ass to Congress when he said it's scripted and
Hmm.
messed up the wrestling game.
Well, he had to because Congress was really thinking of outlawing it as a blood sport for a while. Like they were doing so well in selling it.
But you know what that was? It was about money.
Oh
They
yeah,
probably
of
didn't pay
course it
their
was.
taxes like they wanted the taxes paid. Come on. It was the
Ronda
politics behind
Rousey,
it.
that's a name from UFC that gets my blood pumping. She was a hell of a fighter. And then she got her ass knocked out once because they couldn't find anyone to beat her. They finally like took a amateur UFC fighter, taught the exact styles that would beat Rousey. She took a roundhouse to the face so hard she actually sharded herself, and she has been a wimp ever since. She is afraid to take
She
that
took a
kick to the
dump.
jaw now.
She dumped
Yeah,
on herself.
she was hit so hard in the face with a roundhouse kick
Nah, I
that
remember
she
when she went
actually,
down.
yeah, she released her bowels a little bit, and she made the mistake of wearing white walking into that ring. You could see the yellow and brown stains, man. As soon as her head's twisted and she started falling, there's a her, falling over forward picture with the brown and yellow.
Listen,
Like
but
she got fucked
But you
up.
can't. Yeah, no, she just listen. It was in time. Believe me. You might think they found somebody because remember the woman that whooped her went down and she got her ass whooped.
Yep. Because they only taught her how to fight Ronda Rousey. They
Man,
didn't teach
she
her how to
got
fight
her
anyone
ass.
else. It was brick by brick how to beat Ronda Rousey. She goes into the next fight thinking she's hot shit, and she
And,
doesn't know nothing else.
and listen, but that's how. But in boxing, it's like that. Fighters make fights. Like
Mm-hmm.
we might be thinking this person is cold blooded, and just to give you an example, just what happened to Canelo and Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Canelo was never gonna beat Bud Crawford. They can fight 10 times. They can fight 100 times. He's gonna lose that fight 100 times
Mm-hmm.
because his IQ. You know what I'm saying? Bud is a boxer. When you find a brawler, it's always a brawler always have a hard time with a boxer. That's why when you see Mayweather at his age fighting Canelo, it was just Canelo's like straightforward. It was no different than what's my man name? The shit. We used to call it his nickname is we used to call him Kicky Ass. Tito,
Mm.
what's Tito? The one Bernard Hopkins in a and when didn't nobody think Tito could be beat. I can't think of
Yep. Yep.
Tito name, the boxer, but he probably gonna be Hall of Fame because he beat De La Hoya. But De La Hoya really
De La
ran.
Hoya was good.
He was good till he ran and he couldn't really take no. He couldn't. De La Hoya really couldn't take.
So if you watched his actual handwork, he wasn't going for straight shots. He was actually using the weight of the glove as a weapon. He was swinging through it.
Who?
De La Hoya. He
No,
wasn't
De La
going
Hoya.
fucking hard
No,
like
De
that. He
La
was
Hoya.
actually using the weight of the glove to slap you around. He was using it as its own
Facts,
fucking weapon.
facts, Georgia boy. No, Tito. No, he was a Puerto Rican. Remember Bernard Hopkins when I can't think of Tito last name, the boxer. Bernard Hopkins, because he was whipping everybody that they was putting in front of him. Like I
Mhm.
said, no, I ain't talking about Berto Duran. Berto Duran was probably gone with Bernard Hopkins. I'm talking about. Let me get this. Let me get this. I'm finna pull it up. When
Yeah.
Tito
Here so
versus
Taylor fucking clued me in. It was her
Bernard.
name was Holly Holm.
Tito Trinidad. That's his name. Yeah, Holly Holm. Tito Trinidad.
Why is she
When Tito
canceled?
when Tito Trinidad. No, Tito Trinidad. Tito Trinidad. That's who it was. When Tito, because remember Tito with De La Hoya, when they fought, De La Hoya didn't want to mix it up with Tito, but he was just a straightforward boxer. And people like, yeah. Tito Trinidad. Yeah, Tito was doing it until, when Winky Wright, like, man, fight makes styles, man. I remember my uncle and cousin tell me that fight makes styles, man. So you'll see me, I might fight somebody and have an easy time, and you might fight them and have a hard time. Then it might be a person you fight, you might have an easy time with, you know what I'm saying, with people. That's just how it is, man. And you can see, you know what I'm saying. I really do think. And then sometimes, man, they be hyping people up.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they be blowing champions up that you be thinking these is good people. Man, all you gotta do is go watch them fight. Bud been showing he was a gangster, man. I mean, he could throw them hands. Like, I remember Earl Spence. I thought Earl Spence was gonna be something
Mm.
until Bud he ran. But I go back to an old video. You can go back and see when they ran into each other, and Bud said he was gonna whoop him about 6 years before they fight '07, and he whooped him when he ran. I thought, I thought he was some Errol Spence, man, but people don't really really understand. I'm gonna have to bring Freaky. I'm well, my homeboy Fed. I got to bring my family on Fade-Bone because he was down there. He used to be with Mayweather and everything, and his crew stayed in Vegas. And, he do security and stuff. He done been with Jay Prince and stuff. I'm gonna have to bring him on for y'all can know who a lot of people from Flint know who he was. But he used to
Oh
be
shit.
with he was with Mayweather in his early years, was boxing and stuff. So a lot of times I be chopping it up with him because he always be, around the boxing ring. I mean boxing gym and stuff. So but yeah, when you dude, when you when, when when you see these sportsmen with these they hype people up and then when they get exposed, you know
It
what their
all
career
goes
go,
away.
they do
Away.
this. I mean, and
Uh,
anything, basketball, football, you go, they
mhm.
be hyping these people up, man. Then when it come show and prove, when it's their time to take over, man, a lot of them carry the sport. That's why I chose wrestling today. A lot of
Yeah.
people,
Right.
you got to think, a lot of people, man, in them days we was coming up, man, listen, I don't care what nobody say. Hulk Hogan transcended wrestling.
Man, my
I
wife's
mean,
favorite wrestler
transcended it.
to this day is still China. She fucking loved China.
Nah, man,
And
she,
I mean, granted,
uh,
she was not much of a looker, but God, she could put
nah,
on a show.
yeah.
God, she was a hell of an actress, a hell of a show woman. She could do it all. Like I really enjoyed watching her fight.
Dude, she could sell it. Yeah, she got dead wrong, but see, that's how the business
Well,
is.
women in wrestling get done wrong left and right.
Man, listen,
Like we have to say it.
that's how the
Everyone wants to
business
see
is. And it ain't
everyone wants
right.
to everyone wants to see these, big muscle bound
Yeah,
Hulkoid dudes throwing each other around. Every once in a while they'll throw some eye candy being the female wrestlers out there.
yeah.
But they're just there as eye candy, which is really sad because these women put a lot on the line. They bust their ass to look good. They bust their ass to actually be able to pick each other up and throw each other around. You know, they're athletic as hell and they can put on a show, but at the end of the day, most of these promoters just put them up there as eye candy, and it's fucked.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's rough when you go back and look how they did, man. A lot of them people, and then they get see what they don't tell you how they get strung on drugs, man. A lot of them people get strung
Mm-hmm.
on drugs from injuries, man, from taking that. Like you won't think. Like I remember Roddy Piper when he was on Bill Maher when he was had the politically correct show
Mm-hmm.
when he was like, "Oh, wrestling fake," and he pulled his pants down. Said he was showing him he had to have hip replacement show where he broke his wrist, and he was like, "You call it fake." You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying? And I get it why you them wrestlers be mad when they like, man, like a
because
spectator.
we
We
as a
say
spectator
fake,
don't
yeah,
really differentiate. Like we understand that it's choreographed, but you are still physical as hell, and accidents still happen. It isn't like, oh, I don't expect this man to get into this ring, get thrown around like a rag doll, and not walk away with injuries for the rest of his life. We're just saying we know it's choreographed. We know who's going to win.
oh, facts, Marcus Field. No, but it's the politics.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, it's the politics. Even with
Whoever
boxing.
can bring in the most money at the end of the day is going to walk away with
And,
that belt.
and to answer your question, Marcus Field, a good brother, and that's my brother from Fairfield, California. Right, Hulk Hogan, man, all them surgeries he had, man, messed Hogan
Mhm.
up. But what it is, the Latino base, Hispanic base, boxing base, man, they sell out boxing. That's why when Parnell Whitaker, he did get robbed against De La Hoya, and he did get robbed against Chavez because that was De La Hoya name wasn't the Golden Boy for nothing. Do
No,
you understand? And this messed me up, and because I be watching Fan in Boxing, Boxing 786. If I'm saying y'all name wrong, I'm sorry. And Blue Bloods, these are the different boxing podcasts. Do you know a lot of the Mexican fighters is mad with Canelo? Do you know they mad at him?
man.
Because he didn't give a lot of them paydays.
So
Well, they could have
in
fought and made some money.
I loved watching boxing. I think one time I skipped school in high school to go to Mexico to a bar to watch a boxing match. I was on early day. Like
Right,
I used to love boxing.
right.
And once again, it's turned more into a money game. You know that movie Moneyball?
Uh-huh.
That same mentality is spread among all the sports nationwide. So whoever can bring in the most bucks is going to get the most publicity, is going to get the most of a boost, or in some cases, a boost in a judge's decision, whether it's boxing, UFC, whether it's a ref's call on a say football game, or an umpire's ball or strike call. Like Randy
Mm,
Johnson, I used to love Randy Johnson as a pitcher. Right, I'm a old school Diamondbacks fan.
mm,
2001 was our year.
fact.
Watching Randy Johnson, now I watch it back, but he threw a slider, is beautiful, and called strike. I watch it back now. It was below the batter's knees. How's that a fucking strike? Because Randy Johnson had a name. It just is what it is. And it's rather unfortunate that money just controls that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fact, yeah, it is at an all-time low, ref. Because I ain't gonna say, my reason for saying all-time low. I just think the boxers got smarter now. You know what I'm saying? If you go look at the boxers from back in the day, man, them dudes. Listen, I love it. I like boxing, but when you hear some of them talk, who
Mm-hmm.
been out the game, I love the way Mayweather, the artist, to hit and not get hit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We can't say nothing like and everybody want to say Mayweather brought the money in. Nah, when De La Hoya was cherry picking, man, once you done fought all your top competition, like right now, people gonna get mad at me. And I'm hearing
Oh.
everybody saying Bud should retire. Do people know this was probably Bud biggest payday? Canelo got 150. Bud
Mm-hmm.
got 50. I want people to understand that he got 10 million, but with the gate, he gonna walk away with 50 million. Then he got to pay his people.
You
But now time is to go cherry pick and go get him a couple 100 million, and you know what I'm saying. Do like everybody else doing. That's
did
what
you
De La
catch?
Hoya was doing. No, I'm just saying his name wasn't a golden boy for nothing.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I
Did,
ain't knocking what he did outside of boxing, but go back and watch when De La Hoya was the golden boy, what he was making. See, what people don't understand what the sport is. These people be fighting. I'm not gonna lie, my uncle put me hip to this. I wasn't understanding everybody wasn't making money. So
mhm.
if you go listen to him, some only get a couple 100,000. Some was facts. Top rank was screwing it, and that's why he left. That's why Canelo left from De La Hoya. See, a lot of time when you see Tank when he left from Mayweather,
Man,
left from
now UFC and boxing, you don't just have to fucking pay your promoter and your manager. You also have to pay your gym, and they're taking large cuts. Like you're maybe walking away with 25% of your purse,
yeah. I mean, what?
25%, and you're the one going through all the pain, going through all the training, getting the shit kicked out of you in that ring, and you're walking away with a quarter of your money while
And
everyone
that's
else is picking up, well,
see,
eating off of
right.
your plate.
And you got to understand they picked Allegiant Stadium, right, where they
Hmm.
had held this fight at
Yeah.
70,000 people, made 35 some million at the gate. See, people looking okay. That's just that
And
35 right there.
that's not even looking at the pay-per-view sellings.
Okay, that's not even looking at. You see, Netflix got in on it. Do
Yeah.
you see all these other? You know why?
Man, the Netflix
Javante.
fight, I have to go back for a second. The fight that Netflix did with God, the whiny little white bitch kid. I can't remember his name. I don't like him. Anyway, that entire card, the only fight worth watching was the women.
Listen, man, but Do you? Because
Like
I
they're
see
the
what
only ones
Brianna
that
said.
actually put work into that fight.
Yeah.
I that was a great fight.
Brianna said, "Damn, I didn't realize you had to pay for the gym. Shit, you had to pay for the
Yeah.
towels, down to the towels that they use.
Oh yeah,
All
and the
that come out.
gym.
Yeah, all that come
So
out. Food, whatever they did. Everybody. I remember when Tyson was breaking it down. This how they get that money. They be coming down before you know it. Like you, but let me just say this:
oh, it's
Don
Lummy's
King,
birthday.
who's
Lummy. Happy
oh
birthday to my
Lummy, happy
Florida
birthday,
neighbor
Lummy.
and Lummy. Happy
Lummy,
birthday.
happy birthday. I don't want
All right.
everybody to think this happened up on the Don King, but you can go back to the manager. Damn, what was his name? Joe Lewis. Man,
Mm.
Joe Lewis got worked.
Joe Lewis got robbed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But all of them did. Even when he took that to win that, to even get that fight, he got robbed. You know what I'm saying? With Max Beer. Max Beer was making money off of Joe Lewis. That's how rough it was when they, because they knew Joe was gonna whoop him anyway when they go fight Max Schilling. When they told him for Joe to get that, to go over there to get the man. Listen, in this game, in sports and entertainment, this is what it is. This is business, and I know we kept y'all a little over. I got to get ready to run to the crib.
Yeah. I
I'll be
just want to
calling you. Go ahead, Trevor.
put
You can
one
end
thing
this.
out real quick for Brianna because didn't realize you had to pay for the gym. It isn't just pay to use the gym. That is a monthly bill, right? But most of these gyms have a name and a legacy like racehorses. So for you to get that gym to basically sponsor you to go into these fights and walk out with you and say, yeah, this fighter has trained at this gym, you have to pay a large percentage of your winnings to them just to A, get the training and B, get the prestige of being from that gym.
Mm. Okay.
That's the part that really catches people.
Oh no, and don't forget this in boxing. You have to pay to have them belts. If
Mm-hmm.
you got the WBC belt, the WBA, the
And then you get
IBF
taxed
belt,
on them belts too.
yeah, you pay for having them belts. So don't get it twisted. You
Just
pay
like
for them.
Olympic gold medalist. If you
Yeah,
are an American gold medalist, you have to pay taxes on the value of that gold. Well, gold, silver, bronze. If you're a medalist, period, you have to pay
yeah,
taxes on the value of that medal.
yeah. So
Not just as from the Olympics. I'm talking like the straight material value. That
yeah,
is insane. Oh,
yeah,
let me go represent my country, bring some glory home, and oh, now I owe fucking 100. This is $150,000 worth of gold. I owe them 30% of that because it's technically an income.
facts, and that's how it is. So people, you got, I mean, just understand this business. They still want their money, and why you
Mm-hmm.
think when them boxers be leaving as they be fighting, and they learn that, like Mayweather, they don't want nobody to go on their own no more.
No,
Even with Javante Tank Davis when he got his money, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, because Mayweather, like, he didn't care about the belts no more. He like, man, I'm not finna be paying for. That's when you saw Riddick Bowe when he threw the IBF belt in the garbage. You know
mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And they gave the title. And understand this,
Why
family.
am I gonna pay 100 grand
Yeah,
for a piece of leather and some metal strapped to it? Like I've got the title. That's all I need. You can have
yeah.
the belt.
No, but that's how. But you know them be your belts because when they look when Terrence Crawford gave Canelo back his belts.
Mm-hmm.
Because them his
They
belts,
didn't
them
fit.
belts made for you. Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
gave them back because he took his
No,
title.
they didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, because at
Go
the end of
for
the
it.
fight, nah, he took it back. You see, when he when he went and met Canelo, he gave him back his belts as the man did. You know, most other people that had their people take it back. Nah, he took it back, shook his hand, shook his wife's hand and his daughter's hand, gave him his belt because he was explaining to Stephen A. But what that is because the IBF in that weight division, you know, for all them belts he got, they gonna
Mm-hmm.
make him, they gonna send him his new belts out with his face on there.
Yep.
Even though you might lose the fight, them still your belts because they made them belts. You know, he gonna have his titles.
They're
Them
pre-made.
belts, yeah, they pre-made. That's why right now Terrence Crawford waiting. His should be probably there by now, or they be there this week because he waiting on his belts to come. Because when he go, his face will be on there like all the other great champions. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But
Yeah,
we got
that'll
you got
do
any
us.
closing words, Trevor?
Nah, this is a fun one, man. I
Yeah,
like
we
going
gonna
down memory lane and talking the politics and business of some of our favorite entertainment as kids.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna be on. It's called the recall. That's why we're gonna be recalling the stuff about the pop, because that's what it's all about. It's about the money.
Man,
That's what people not understanding. When
I
you go
can't
look
wait
at
to
this,
talk about Hollywood and Nickelodeon.
Facts. No, because this big business. That's what I think people, you know what I'm saying? Because these the type of documentaries I'd be like, damn, man, you be thinking it's all this and that, but it's like, damn, when you get to the real money, man, people was mad. Like some people was making it right, some was making like $500. But back then, because I seen Kevin Ashton was dishing the Rock and Roll Express because they like how they blew their money, but they was like, dude, the money compared, we weren't thinking about saving. You know, Robert
Mm-mm.
Gibson, and some people started lied about their age was 17 and became wrestlers. But I ain't gonna
Mhm.
hold y'all that long,
Yep.
fam.
We got 3 more shows today on the 810. Mickey is on all 3 of them, so be sure to
Yeah.
tune in. When are they, Mick?
I'll be back at it. I'm thinking 11. I'm not for sure, but I'll let y'all know 11. But I know. Hold on, I take
You
that
got
back.
Conspiracy Tuesday
Yeah,
to do
at 5. Yep.
5,
And then me and Winters at 6.
and
Conspiracy
then
might
your
be about
show
45 minutes.
yeah, and then your show 11 probably hopefully 11:15ish.
Yeah, we gonna
Whenever
find.
it happens.
Yeah, for sure. Peace, family,
Later, folks.
for sure.